At that time, it was hard for the average black guy to get into college. You had to be like your high school's valedictorian to get in most colleges. White colleges only accepted 3 or 4 black students every year. Your uncle decided to go to a black college. Black colleges welcomed and accepted young black men from the North. He enrolled at North Carolina Central University in Durham. I enrolled too after a girlfriend of mine dared me to. I was a mother, wife, and I worked part-time. Your cousin was 5 at the time. North Carolina opened my eyes. I was so impressed with the black men in North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company. They wore suits. They were in charge. They were executives. These black men were together. I said, oh wow. I was just impressed. You didn't see that every day. We moved there in the fall of 1966, but I got homesick. I wanted to see my mother. I went to see her in July. Your cousin and I got on the train. We got off in Newark around 10 or 11 in the morning. People were rushing about. Actually, there weren't that many people, other than the ticket clerks at the ticket windows. I went to a payphone and took out a dime. I called my mother's house, but nobody answered. I called my brother's house. He lived in the same house, but on a different floor. He lived on the 3rd floor. Can you come pick me up? I said. I can't do that, he said. Get a cab. What? I said. It's only a 10-minute drive to Penn Station. Then he told me, take a taxi and I'll pay for it once you get here. Don't be upset. He said, just relax. I'll explain later. We went out to the front of Penn Station. I knew something was seriously wrong. There was a massive police presence. Streets were blocked off. My heart was beating because I didn't know what was going on. We walked up to the line of taxi cabs. I went to the first one online, a white cabbie. I told him I wanted to go to Springfield Avenue and Bergen Street. Sorry, I can't take you, he said. We walked back a few cabs. I saw a young black cabbie. Where you going? He said. Springfield Avenue and Bergen, I told him. He motioned for us to get in. I was relieved to get a ride because I had a suitcase, a 5-year-old, and was wearing a dress with nylons and 3-inch heels. Once we sat down, he turned around. You don't know what's going on? He asked. No, I said. Nobody told you anything? What was the big secret everybody was keeping from me? He looked at my son. He just said, take it easy. He turned around and drove. You got your son here, he said, so I don't want to say too much. He said he would charge a flat fee rather than using the meter because he was going to take the long way around. He turned the meter off. We can't go up Springfield Avenue, he said. Springfield and Bergen, that's right at the heart of where it's happening. Do they know you're coming? Yeah, I said, it's my family. Okay, your family will explain it to you. Meanwhile, my heart was still beating. They made him take a detour because the National Guard had blocked off Springfield Avenue. He went down this side street, all the way around, avoiding streets blocked off. We finally got near Springfield and Bergen. The National Guard was there. My taxi driver told him, this young lady here has a young son. She's coming to visit. She didn't know what was happening. He showed his taxi credentials and his ID. I'm taking her to her mother who lives up the block. I'm going to drop them off, then I'll come right back out. They were nice about it and said, okay, do what you have to do. At the house, the cabbie dropped us off. I paid him and gave him a good tip. My brother came down out front. Black people had to show their hands. I said to my brother, what's going on? He said, your husband has been calling constantly. Cell phones back then. And when your uncle tried to catch up with me at the station in Durham, the train had already left the station. My brother rushed us into the house. Call him and let him know you made it. After I called my husband, I instinctively looked out the window to see what was going on. A National Guard pointed a rifle at me and yelled, get out that window. Can you imagine? I couldn't believe it. I looked out the window just to see what was happening, and somebody was pointing a gun in my face saying, get out that window. You bet not be in that window. There were snipers in windows. You couldn't go at the house for a day or two. Nobody could come in and nobody could go out, and businesses were affected. The store right off Springfield Avenue where I brought the stroller and baby carriage, the place everybody shopped at, this Jewish place, they tore that place up. My brother went out to work. You could go to work if you could show proof that you were going to work, but they'd search you. We could hear gunshots at night. When we got back to North Carolina, I had nightmares about that guy pointing the gun at me. Your uncle tried to talk to me at first, but after a while he gave up. I couldn't be talked to. He just hold me.